Hi, namaste, good night. So I'm going to read Book 6, Chapter 10 on the phase of karma. Bhagavatam Maha Koti Surya Sama Nida Begnam Sarvakaya Sushava Ekadantai Bhagavatunai Tanti Vishwada Om Gam Garamte Om Gam Garamte Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Saksha Param Brahma Tasma Shri Guru Om Ya Devi Sarva Bodheshu Vidyaravinda Sanshram Mastase Vidya Purani Mata Saraswati. That's it. Janamajaya said, O Brahmana, you have described in detail the wonderful character of Indra, his displacement from his heavens, and his suffering many hardships, and at the same time you have described very widely the greatness of the highest goddess of the world. But one doubt has arisen in my mind, that Indra was very powerful, and when he got the lordship over the Devas, which means, in other words, that no trouble would pain him, how was it that he had to feel pain and agony? He got the lordship of the Devas and his highest position by performing 100 horse sacrifices. How was it then that he was again displaced from that position? O Ocean of Mercy, kindly explain to me the causes of all these. You know everything. You are the best of the Munis and the maker of the Puranas. I am your devoted disciple. Therefore, nothing there can be that cannot be mentioned to me. So, O highly fortunate one, kindly remove my doubts. Sutta said, thus asked by Janamajaya, Vyasa, the son of Satyavati, gladly spoke in due order the following words. Vyasa said, O king, hear then the causes that are certainly very wonderful. The sayers say that karma is of three kinds: Sanchita, accumulated; Vartamana, present; and Prarabdha, commenced. Each of these is again subdivided into three: Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. The accumulated effects of karmas done in many past lives is called Sanchita. O king, the effects of this Sanchita karma, be it auspicious or inauspicious, be it for long or for a short time, must have to be enjoyed by the beings, whether they be good or bad. This Sanchita karma done by the embodied beings in several previous births can never be totally exhausted, even in 100 koti kalpas, without their being enjoyed. The karma that is being done by a jiva and that has not as yet been completed, this is called Vartamana karma. The jivas do this Vartamana karma, auspicious or inauspicious. In their present embodiments, at the time of birth, a part of the Sanchita karma the soul takes up for fruitification. This part of Sanchita karma is called Prarabdha karma. This exhausts only when its effects have been fully borne out by the embodied soul. The beings cannot but bear the effects of this Prarabdha karma. O king, know this for certain, that the effects of merits and demerits done previously must be borne by anybody, be he a deva or a man or a sura or a yaksha or a gandharva. The acts done previously go to from the new births of all beings. When the yaksha or gandharva from new births of all beings. When the karma gets exhausted, then no more births takes place. There is no doubt in this. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Indra, and other devas, the Danavas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, all are under the control of this karma. O king, were it not so, how could they get bodies that are causes of the enjoyments, of pains, and pleasures of all the beings? Therefore, O king, out of the Sanchita karmas done in many previous births, some karmas get ripe in due time, and they manifest themselves. Those manifested Sanchita karmas are called Prarabdha karmas, those that are being enjoyed by an individual in the present birth. Impelled by this Prarabdha karma, the devas and the human beings all do meritorious acts as well as sinful acts. Thus Indra, out of his past meritorious acts, attained his Indraship, and out of his past sinful acts committed the sin Brahmahatya, and so he was dislodged from his Indraship. What doubt can exist here, O king? So Nara and Narayana, the sons of Dharma, had to take births out of their previous karmas. Again, Arjuna and Krishna were born out of their karmic effects as part incarnations of this Nara and Narayana. The Munis describe this karma as the basis of the Puranas. Know that he is born of a Deva who is very wealthy and prosperous. He who is not born of the part of a Muni never writes any spiritual treatise or jnana or knowledge. He who is not born of Rudra never worships Rudra. Who is not born of a Deva never distributes rice in charity. He who is not born of Shri Vishnu never becomes the king and lord of the earth. O king, the embodied souls derive their bodies certainly from Indra, Agni, Yama, Vishnu and Kuvera. Indra presides over lordship, Agni presides over energy, Yama presides over anger, and Vishnu presides over strength. He who is powerful, fortunate, enjoying many enjoyments, learned, charitable, is said to be born of Devamasa, O Lord of the earth. Similarly, the Pandavas and Vasudeva, who was as glorious as Narayana, were born of Devamanasa. O king, know this as quite certain, that the bodies of the jivas are the receptacles of pains and pleasures, and the embodied souls, jivas, experience alternately pleasure and pain. No jiva is independent. He is always under the great fate. He experiences birth, death, pleasure, and pain, not out of his self-will, but compelled and guided, as if it were, by the unseen fate. O king, how very strong is that fate can easily be judged by the following. The Pandavas were born in forest, then they went their own homes. They performed the great Rajasuya sacrifice by virtue of their own strength. After this, they had to suffer their exiles in forests, a much greater and more trouble hardship indeed. Next, Arjuna performed a very hard asceticism. When the Devas, not self-controlled, became pleased and granted him an auspicious boon. Still, he could not extricate himself from the hands of the terrible hardship. Nowhere could be found the fruits of the merits acquired in the past, when he was afterwards remaining in exile in his human body in the forest. The severe tapasya that he did in the Vadharika Sama Vadharika, it's a tough one. Vadharikas Rama, in his past incarnation as Nara, the son of Dharma, did not bear any fruit in his original birth. Mysterious and inexplicable are the ways and means of karma with which the bodies of the several beings are concerned. How could men get an idea of it when the devas themselves are at a loss to solve it? Bhagavan Vasudeva had to take birth in the prison, a very critical and dangerous place. He was then carried by Vasudeva to the milkman Nanda's abode at Gokula. He remained there 11 years and thence came back to Mathura, where he killed by force Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena. Then he released his sorrowful father and mother from the bonds of prison and made Ugrasena the king of Mathura. Afterwards, he went to Dwarka city, out of the fair of Kala Yavana, the king of the Mlachas. Thus, Jardana Krishna performed many great and heroic deeds, being impelled by fate. Then he left his mortal coil at Prabhasa, a place of pilgrimage, along with his relatives and acquaintances, and then ascended to his Vaikuntha abode. All the Yadavas, sons, grandsons, friends, brothers, sisters, and ladies of the houses all died under the curse of a Brahmin. O king, I have thus described to you the inexplicable ways of karma. What more shall I say than the fact that Vasudeva was killed by the arrow of a hunter? Here ends the 10th chapter of the 6th book, the phase of karma, in the Maha Puranam, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Ved Vyas. Jayanti Mangalakali, Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Kashma Shri Padatari Swaswara Namaste. Untuyo Mata Chabitatume, Untuyo Bandhu Shacha Sakatu, Tume Vidya Dravinam Tume, Untuyo Sarvam, Mama Deva Deva, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.